Hello, everyone. Welcome to TCV Crypto Market Update for Sunday, March 9th. This is your host, Mr. A, still in travel mode and still about to actually travel even more into the remainder of the month. So I'm going to be making another video today, and this week we'll reassess and see what I can pull off this week. And then for the end of March is going to be more sporadic. But for the time being, I'll be able to address Bitcoin and the general market as things have continued to unwind, as I've been pointing out since over a week ago and after that video with Ed and Mr. W. So today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. I'll look at a couple of alts, and then I'll look at SPX futures we're now trading and see what the dollar is doing, which is now trading, and we'll leave it at that. Generally speaking, all coins are completely collapsing, as I expected. Many of them are already at their bear market lows or about to break down. If Bitcoin corrects as hard as we think it's going to, many of those alts will be making new lows. And even those that have been mostly immune up to this point are not going to escape. And I'll be showing that as well. So first and foremost, we're going to look at the Bitcoin monthly, which has been following this parabola. We're now trading below the parabola. If it's magnified on the weekly here, that parabola I drew, we closed below it. That is a violation. And I think this parabola is basically done. I'm going to leave it here in case we can regain it over the next couple of weeks. I don't think they'll be likely. So we start to look at, what other possibilities do we have ahead of us on the monthly. So let me just put it out here, back to the monthly. Come on, load up. There we go. So let us assume that we're going to have a 2021 situation. The path that we're following of a 2017 market is no longer in play. That's done. It's over. We've closed with this orange pivot and we're trading below it, and look, it doesn't look like the downside's finished. We've had this bearish divergence from back here playing out, and I think the minimum move for this to play out is going to be into low 70s. I think that's going to happen. In a bull market, generally this yellow moving average is the buy. We haven't touched it yet. If we were to touch it, here's the green arrow. That's a buy. That's basically the high 70s. Assuming that we are in a bull market, we need to actually touch that and then continue up. Back here, when we did this, we messed around for 3 months with the yellow. We never closed below it. We wicked below it. Some scary moments back then. We always closed above it. And eventually, we came out of it and picked up and had one more all-time high, nominally higher than the previous one, double top, and that was it. So if we're going to do that this year, that's this blue path right now. And it has this other parabola that we'll be following, similar to the one that we did back then. The only difference was that back then, we didn't have all-time highs before the halving, which we did here. And because of that, the chart has been basically, it only trended for 3 weeks and 11 months out of this. And those 3 weeks happened here. It's basically messing around with this for 11 months. And I think that's the price we've paid for having all-time highs before the halving. Thank you, ETFs. Now the cost of all that euphoria is being paid for by this price action. And this could also cost us the parabola, which I think it will. I mean, this month is not over yet, so we haven't closed the month. But if we can close above, that 90K area at the end of the month, this will keep this move alive. I don't think that's going to happen because of the macro. We'll get into that. But for the time being, we're still above it, but we're in a danger zone, and the month has, 21 more days to go at least before this is done. And if this is going to play out like the previous cycle, it's going to be more or less like this. So we're going to be buyers of this yellow with the assumption that we're on a bull market at 77. And then below here, we have what is essentially the middle Bollinger Band, which is also following this parabola, this lighter parabola that I drew. This is the most conservative thing I can possibly draw now. You close below this, it's over. It's bear market. So I'm just going to call it that. And that's 65K. We have closes below that. It's done. It's time to pack your bags, go home, wait for lower prices, and we'll see where I end up from that. probably, a 70% correction from the top would take us down into basically 30K. 75 would be 25K. That's very much possible, but we're not going there yet. We're going to take it month by month, and hopefully we can get a move like this and carve out a bottom after this top. So we'll see how that goes. So here's where we stand on the monthly. We're going to keep watching this closely as we progress. Next, we have the weekly. The weekly just closed. It closed with a purple pivot. Very bad. So that orange pivot on the monthly has been reflected here on a purple pivot. And we're actually trading another purple pivot right now, which is not very good at all. And we have all the resistances above right here. Actually, that one closed below the yellow, so that's an action now resistance. So let's change that. So another resistance added. This is the reason why I get more and more concerned these start to build in these crosses and become resistances at these moving averages. It puts the targets below us in play. 76, 9, 77K seems to be an attractor for the price right now. So we'll see how that goes. Below that, we have the next one at 65. And I think that is the final line in the sand. Closes below 65 will lead to a bear market on the weekly scale. Now, the weekly is due for a bounce. The cycle indicator is scraping the bottom. Hasn't scraped the bottom like this since July of 2021, and before that, October of 2019. So this is actually pretty low, and it is due for a bounce, but I think that bounce is going to run to these resistances. It will be a lower high, and then we'll roll over again. So we'll see how that goes for now. The squeeze momentum is on the edge of losing zero line. I think when it does, we're going to get some red action for a few weeks, and then we can reassess after that. And the inverse Fisher also now trending firmly down. Our zero line bounce has been lost. It's not going to happen anymore. It's it could take up to late May to get into this green zone here. Continues in this current direction. So plenty of time for this to continue going down. We would need to keep chopping sideways to let it go down and reach the oversold level if it's going to be more positive. That last close here actually closed below the lower Bollinger Band on the weekly. So again, tells me new lows are coming. It's going to test the green, and hopefully that's support, and we can bounce from that into what's probably going to be a bearish weekly cycle. This is now the trend. This trend ends at the very least, best case scenario in mid-August. Obviously, there's going to be pumps in between as each daily cycle has a bullish phase, and if we're going to get a correction like this one from back in 2020, in 2021, then it will be 50%. It takes us down to 55K. So 55K to 65 is really the area of interest. And we're going to be buyers there. Hopefully, does not close below that level, 65K. We're not going to call it completely, but yeah, that is a very fine line in the sand. This is the area I want to get interested in with anything that we sold up here over the past week, which is a very good thing to do if you did, because now we're already down quite a bit since then. Worst case scenario, if it was a COVID style crash of 63%, this would dump down to 40K. And I will be a buyer there regardless, because that's very close to, bear market level. Even if that was going to continue being a bear market after a pump, that's a bear market level place I want to be accumulating at. So if you sold at 80 and you bought at 40 and doubled your Bitcoin, you've done well. There's nothing wrong with that. And that will be a COVID style correction. And when that happened, it recovered really quickly. And within 8 weeks, it was back to where it started. So let's say we crash tomorrow and we get down there, and a month from now, we're back to where we started. That is not a bad thing to be doing. So keep in mind, you're going to be a buyer at that, 55 to 65K level for a wick into it. And then we come out, very much like we had in the last previous bull market here. One of these, then it messes around with the bottom, really scares everyone, and then we reverse. So you're going to be kind of buyers of that. And that rode the green back then. Maybe this time it rides the blue. I don't know. But either way, that's what we want to be looking at on a weekly scale. I know it's not the best news, but that's the reality of the macro causing all this. We're going to the daily. We were in this triangle. Triangle's broken down over the weekend. I was really hoping we're going to hold this for a move back up towards here to have a break up into a red zone. It didn't happen, so the triangle is now gone. This is a new daily cycle that ended on day 60. It pumped, topped out on essentially day 2 right now. Not a very good thing. And it should not be trading down here if it was fully bullish cycle. So this is bad news. This tells me that if this breaks down, more downsides coming. We really need to hold this area right here. This is the do or die area basically. We need to hold this area for a double bottom, higher low type of thing that then lets us pump into this area here, which will be a short or a sell into a cash position when it happens. Right now, everything's still stacked bearish. We've not been able to hold and close sustainably above it. And this is really not looking good. Interestingly enough, this is now showing a reverse pivot right here. So this could be building a bottom on the daily. But I have other signals telling me that it's not. So here's squeeze momentum, still fully red. Not really supported of any pumpage. This is the MACD, it's red. It's agreeing with squeeze momentum. It says more downsides coming. Cycle indicator about to cross bearish. It's going to move back down. I don't think this is going to hold. I'd love for it to hold, for us to sell into here, but I don't think that's going to happen. And the bottom of the previous box has been established as official resistance with these 2 attempts into it, and now it can't hold it anymore. So here are we at. This is not a good picture on daily. Tomorrow and Tuesday really have to turn around. Otherwise, this is going to continue declining, and it looks like it will. On my regular daily, here is, liquidity gap test into the middle. We're back up. It's testing the top of the liquidity gap. That's pretty good. If we can keep respecting this middle here, 78.5, for a little bit longer and respect that equilibrium point, then we can get a bullish move back up towards mid 80s and hopefully mid 90s. The 50 has crossed the 100. Parabolic SAR is now bearish. You can see the 2 dots have formed here. We're below the moving average. We close below the 200-day moving average. Okay, this is now officially bear trend territory as far as moving averages go. Any move back up towards it is probably a sell, and take the opportunity to take some profits before more downside comes on the daily. This SCMR support has held. The liquidity gap has held. If we lose those, 74.6 is below us with an equilibrium point of that one at 72.6 and 70,500 at the bottom. That's a place you can try to swing for long, which might lead to a 20% to 30% move out of here. So from the middle of that, if you can get a move back up to 88 or even up to 94, 95, that would be a great place to grab along for a bear rally into a lower high before it rolls over again. So that's where we stand. We're now officially in a bear trend. The structure is broken. You want to be careful with this. You should already be in a 20% cash position. If you're not, a move like that is a place to build up and increase your cash position. If you want to go even higher than 20, you can, but at least try to get the minimum up here so that we can buy some stuff down the 55 to 65 and we'll get a chance later. So that's where this one stands. For our MSR, Inverse Fisher is screaming buy here, so it's trying to find some sort of bottom. The liquidity gap has been lost. This is done. It looks like it wants to test that 78K area. And if we can put in a higher low from here, we'll get a move back up towards the moving averages, hopefully towards the 50, which is here at 87 and coming down. So mid 80s will be a minimum move if we can put a bottom here. And if we get to the beach again, that's a sell. It was a sell here at 95. It was a sell here at 92. If we get up here at 91, that's another sell. So low 90s are take profit zones. According to MSR, this is a fresh bear trend. This time is the real deal. It does not seem like it's a fake bear trend. And this is going to take many weeks or months to reverse. EMA flow on the daily. It's crossed. It's close below everything now. It's lost this moving average. The purple's coming down. It's going to cross that one, and that'll put it in more of a bearish stance. And if this crosses, this will be even more bearish stance. There'll be a bear market at that point. Deviations below is 78, 73, and 68. We could wick into these areas and hopefully reverse back toward the mean. And then if we can get up into this area to 94, that's a sell from underneath. If we can get up there, it will also be a sell into 85. So things that I showed in the other indicators are being agreed upon by this indicator. And if we look at ranges, the range on the top is expanding back down. That's 98K. By the time we pump into it, it might be a 95. That's a short. It's a sell if we get there. This is no longer a bull trend. So buying at the bottom of the range, probably rewarded by a rally, but will not be a very bullish rally. It will be a rally that we sell into the resistance for a lower high before more downside. And just to note, the inverse fissure on the daily has been rejected at zero line again. So it looks like it wants to roll over back down. So I'm not holding my breath for much bullish price action here. I think this is going to continue going down, and then we'll reassess when we get out of this and see how it goes in the next few weeks. At this point, the stock market crash, the sooner it happens, the better. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, have our COVID style crash, and let the money printers come on, and then we'll get some bullish action after that. So the sooner that happens, the better. So stock market starts to crash in the next 48 hours. That'll be actually fantastic news. Inverse fissure stop return on 12-hour. Right in the cyan, green's resistance. It can't hold it. Below we have 77.4, 77K showing up again. There it is. We have an ever so slight bullish divergence. If this makes a lower low, it will be a confirmed one. And then after that, we should pump back up towards the beginning of divergence, which is around here. So see how that goes in the 12-hour. Not very confident. Look at all the sell volume. It's just selling, and selling. Not a whole lot of buying happening over here. So altcoin season index is at 24. It's trying to bounce here, but I think it's only temporary. I think it's continue going down. We haven't really had an altcoin year. And certainly it's not an altcoin month anymore. This is going to start rolling over, I think. And you can see that there's not a whole lot of altcoin outperformance. It's actually only up a bit because of wrapped BTC. And Bitcoin Cash, for some reason, is up 76%, 7.6% over the past month. So that doesn't really do anything. And on a yearly scale, we've never really truly had an altcoin season. And we'll see how that goes. Maybe there'll never be another one, given how this is behaving. You know, we had our 2017 and we had our 2021, and all we could get up to here is, you know, midline and then rolled over now. So we don't know what's going to happen with that one. Alts in general are getting slaughtered. I'll just show Zano to show that that's why I want us to sell into the strength here. Now it's $6. This is Pirate Chain all over again. If you're in profit, get out. Just get out. There's no need to be holding this anymore. If you're in profit, get out. If you're not in profit, you're not actually locked into position. This is going lower. It might rally and you can sell into it, but it's going lower. So do not hold this to a 98% position. You're never trapped in any trade. You can always cut a loser off if you need to. You cut off the rotting limb. And if this is rotting your portfolio, get out of it. That same thing for all the other ones. SUI, new lows, get out of it. Don't need to hold this. If you go to RXD, I also not a disaster. If you you don't have to hold it for a 99% correction. Get out. Don't need to do that. And any other ones, even the meme coins, Go Woke is dumping. You don't really have to hold it. This is a lottery ticket, so the position shouldn't have been large. I'm still holding mine because I think at some point it might get a rally out of it. It's just not something I'm looking at. This reflects all the meme coins. They're all dumping right now. There's just no meme activity across the board. And if you kept your lottery ticket, just do it. It's not one of the ones you need to get out per se. But all the other ones, the Bells coin, like look at this, kind of making the bottom here, but it is a bear trend. We continue making a bear trend, and there's nothing we can do about it. Ray, disaster scenario. Didn't want to buy it then, definitely want to buy it now, maybe ever. In Jupe, also new lows. Everything is falling apart, and altcoins are not the thing to be holding. You might want to cut your losses, put it into stable coins, and look to buy some strong things at the bottom when we actually find the bottom. I'll show Solana because it's also declining. It is in a fresh bear trend. It's made a new low below this one. It's going to go towards 100, and we'll see what happens from there. And the Bitcoin pair is also in a bear trend, and it's slowly declining towards here. It's mostly flat, but when the alts start dumping, they're going to go faster than Bitcoin, especially if Bitcoin dumps really hard. Next, I'll show Ethereum. Again, Bitcoin pair. It actually has not made a new low against Bitcoin after that wick, which is interesting. So let's see what the USD pair is doing. USD pair is just barely holding here. This is not going to hold. And it's going to lose 2,000. And then it's going to put the sky below in play towards the 1,600 area. And we'll reassess that, especially if Bitcoin starts dumping. This will dump harder. Not time to be holding it yet. So not doing that. I'll show Monero to Bitcoin, which currently has a purple breakdown. So after all the strength in Monero I was in, I said that eventually this will not hold, and it's not. It's dumping. Let's see the USD pair. There it is. These lows have not held. This bull trend is tired. This is not immune to all the liquidity issues and stock market crash. During the COVID crash, it crashed a lot harder than Bitcoin, and I expect it to do the same. This is not any different or more special than any other asset in the middle of liquidity crisis. When there's liquidity crisis, people sell whatever they need to cover, and Monero is not going to be immune to that. So be careful with this one. It was the strongest one at the end. It signaled the end of the bullish phase once again, and now it's beginning to dump. And when it starts to dump, it will dump really hard, and we'll see what happens when it gets down to the sub 200 levels and how it behaves. Final line in the sand for this one, 169. Close below that, really watch out below. So keeping an eye on this, but this is not good. It's got the rounded top feeling now and lots of room to go down after these big moves. So I would not be surprised to see it revisit these areas here, which were previously resistance and now turn support. So we'll see how that goes. We'll go to the cycle chart and look at 81.7. Okay, it's doing a little bit better, but still, we need to get back up above 86 to have any chance of doing anything of significance here. I'm going to put it on the dollar, which is now trading, still moving towards our day 20 low after this day 5 top here. This weakness is not helping any of the other markets. Let's see if it's helping gold. Gold's flat. It should be pumping on that weakness, and it's not. And then we have, that's the SPX. It's not started trading yet, but look at that. It could have been a bottom here on Monday. When you look at it, it's not trading yet. Let's look at futures. Okay, looking good. Even as Fisher's saying buy. We closed below that key level here, so that is signaling a failed cycle. So I think any moves back towards 5,800 or 59.56 are going to be sell the rally modes. And if that is a cycle bottom for SPX here on a day 39, 38, 37, the day 37, I'm going to mark it. If that was a day 37 bottom, then we can expect a move back up towards 58.60 and 59.54, 95.54, 59.54. I mean, those will be shorting opportunities. So I'm going to add some red arrows to there. Time to short, guys. If we get a chance to short on a bounce, we do that. 59.57, great place to short. 58.71, another great place to short. And if for some reason this rallies into this purple candle, if we can get a rally into there I would short the shit out of it with prejudice because I think this is going to roll over until things get resolved, and that's a 6,064. So really, let's call it 6,045. Anything in 6,000s, you short it, and then we'll wait for further weakness after this failed cycle. We've lost this line. This is a new weekly cycle, new daily cycle. Could be, into May or June until this bear trend's done, and it could be much lower. It could be down to here, the 5,400, or even down to here at the 5,100. Both are options, but I think the minimum move right now is going to be 5,400. So if you were to short right here, that's still going to be a nice 6% move at the very least. 5,100 is 10. But if you have leverage, then that actually multiplies by your leverage. So if you're doing like a 10x short, that would be actually really nice and give you some nice gain if you want to do that. So we'll put it back to Bitcoin. The last thing I'm going to discuss is the market cap chart. So this is for everyone that's balls deep in alts. This market cap chart is actually about to roll. Actually, just rolled over. That is, it's a red candle. These red candles, the market cap, do not signal strength. They signal multi-week periods of weakness. And if we're to get a significant crash, I think we're going to go down to 34%. So your altcoins will go down 34% at least. Because a COVID style crash will go down another 50% from here to these areas or previous support resistance. And here we have this previous gap here. So I think the minimum move from here is at a 35% loss. So if you want to hold alts for another loss of that magnitude, you can. I personally wouldn't, unless there are lottery tickets, which is how I treat most of my alts, and I'm willing to hold them for another period of strength in the future where we can take profits. But here's the market cap chart. It does not look good when we lose this moving average. And when we lose those, we visit the lower levels. We visit the green at the very least. And oftentimes we lose the green. That's the time to be buying alts. This is the last time we actually bought alts was around here. So keep an eye on that. So market cap now looking good. And if Bitcoin unwinds, these will unwind further. So that's it for today. I think we'll leave it at that. Everyone understands what's going on. Everyone understands how bearish we are. You should be in USDT or other stablecoin positions. I don't see any need to buy PAXG yet because gold is in a bit of a weak trend. But if I see opportunity to buy PAXG on a big dump, I will be pointing that out. So that's it for today. Today is Sunday, March 9th. I hope you guys have a good Sunday night, and I'll see you all on another update this week. Not quite sure when that will be. So have a good night, and I'll see you then.